Hi, my name is Louise and I'm from Denmark, and what I do is I help ill people get well naturally without medication or supplements or pills or anything. And I do this because I used to be really ill myself. So this video is going to be about anxiety and depression and fear, because those were some of the things that I was struggling with for many years myself. And I found a way out of it, and I think it's so important to share some more about what I did and how I got rid of it. So basically, if you rewind time about 13, 14 years, I started to have my first anxiety attacks. And that was one morning, like I was working in television, being quite stressed out, and my life wasn't the best at the time, but I just woke up one morning and I was paralyzed. I didn't know what had happened, but it was like I couldn't go to work, I couldn't brush my teeth, I couldn't leave my bed, and I was just completely paralyzed. And it lasted for a week, and then I slowly got back on my feet again and back to work. But for some reason after that, I just started to have like anxiety attacks, and they became more and more often. So I went from being this super happy, outgoing person to suddenly being very inwards and scared of everything. And it was things like social events, so it was social phobia that I got. And I would be scared of talking to too many people at a time. Like one-to-one would be okay, but if it was more than 3 or 4 people, you know, I was scared of how they would perceive me, or if I was good enough or doing something wrong, or I don't know what it was, but it was not the way I used to be. I just really couldn't recognize myself. And I would avoid all the social events and like come up with an excuse. And the fear would just then spread and be more and more often during the next couple of years. You know, I would get scared of walking into a supermarket. I would be scared of putting my groceries on the conveyor belt and maybe being too slow so that the customers behind me would be angry with me, or paying too slow or messing it up, you know. So much fear about doing something wrong. Later, it got even worse, so to the point where I couldn't work. So I was at home for 1.5 years, because the minute I got close to my computer, my body just went into complete fear of having to do something, just have-tos in general. And I, of course, tried lots of things. First of all, I went to my doctor and I got happy pills, but they didn't really work. It kept me functioning, but not really. And then I went to a school of phobias, where they taught you how to deal with the attacks, the fear, the panic. And some people got better after that, but it didn't really help me that much. And I kept seeing a shrink for years afterwards, and talking through my problems and trying to learn strategies, but it just kept on daily, you know. So taking happy pills, seeing the shrink, and just in total desperation, not knowing what to do about it. And an attack would feel like your body is in complete state of adrenaline rush. So imagine you're standing on the highway, super highway, and a car is coming towards you and you know you'll die in a second. That was the feeling that I had several times a day. Just total panic. The adrenaline was up, your breathing is up, the heart is pumping, you're sweating. It's horrible, absolutely horrible. And you don't know why it's coming, and you can't control it, and you just wish that it would be over. And yeah, I wouldn't seriously wish it for anyone in this world to have that. That's worse than anything I've ever tried. And so I kept on for 7 years like that. And at one point I couldn't go to work for 1.5 years. So I was sitting at home just staring into the wall and just so depressed you won't believe it. Thinking my life is over, I can never have social interactions again, I can never work again, I can't do anything. And then I was on health social benefits at the time, and then they said, sorry, we can't support you anymore, you have to go to work. And I was desperate because I couldn't work. But I went to my doctor, got really strong happy pill medication, and somehow I managed. And every time a panic attack would come, I would go to the bathroom and just try to calm myself and get through it, and then back to work. And I really don't know how I managed. So yeah, then my entire body crashed later on, about 7 years later, and I got real ill with lots of other diseases. And at that time, I was desperately trying to find a solution, so I started just tiny diet changes. And what I did at first was to remove the gluten in my diet, or the dairy. I removed refined sugar. I removed chemicals, and so that if something had chemicals on the label that I couldn't pronounce, I wouldn't buy it. I removed all the pesticides, colorings, you know, anything like that. And yeah, I think those were the major things. And within like very few weeks or months, then I started to suddenly, hey, where did my anxiety go? It just disappeared. It was so crazy. So going from like living with it for years and every day to suddenly not having it there. So I knew that there was something about diet that was very important, and I really had to change something. So from then on, I was still not healthy overall, so I tried to change my diet even more, and I went into a low-fat, raw vegan diet, and that was basically a lot of vegetables raw and lots of fruits. And I went from being okay, you know, mood-wise, to suddenly being super happy. So the depression I'd had was gone, you know. It was a miracle, because somehow that the fruit and the diet itself just made me happy over the moon. Because suddenly the chemicals in my body was working again, you know, all the hormones, and yeah, it felt so amazing, I can't describe it. And one of the reasons for that is, I learned later, is that fruit just supports your hormones and helps you get happy. And one thing is, for example, bananas. So bananas contain tryptophan, which is a precursor to serotonin in your body. And so if you eat loads of bananas, you're gonna get way more happy. And so I basically eat maybe at least 8 to 10 bananas a day, sometimes 20, and it just keeps me really happy. And fruit and vegetables has basically saved my life. And yeah, I just hope that you can get inspired to change something up. If you've tried everything that I've tried, then give this diet a chance. I help people, like I said, to get well naturally. If you need my help, I can be booked for online coachings. I have made a get started guide that you can get on my website. It's FruityLou.com, and there you basically learn what to eat and yeah, basic overview of what to do. It's yeah, get started guide. You can find it on the books there. And yeah, then in my YouTube videos, of course. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, write a little comment, and subscribe to my channel if you like it. And then I hope to see you in the next video. Have a brilliant day. Bye. If you would like to know more about how I got well naturally, you can go to my website and get more information. Here you can get a get started guide where I tell you all about the diet and lifestyle that I used, and you can also download my top 5 tips totally free. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more videos like this.